In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, I am very grateful to God for being able to meet again. This is the second time we meet in person after a long time. And I also would like to welcome you again to here. We had very good sessions already on visitation, and that is very much connected to this concept of also pilgrimage. So what we have in Islam as pilgrimage is either going to Mecca, Mecca, we say Mecca, where we have the house of God, and there is a season that millions of pilgrims go, but also throughout the year it's always being visited by the locals or people who go from outside. We have two types of pilgrimage to Mecca for people who go from outside. One is just, we call it Umrah, it's short version, which is not counted as the compulsory one. The compulsory one is in a certain time that once a year you can go there. And the other kind of pilgrimage is to go to visit the shrines of the prophets or Imams, which are infallible. The third is going to the shrines of the holy people who may not be infallibles, not prophet or Imam in particular sense, but holy people who were worshipping God and were pious and recognized as a spiritual people, so we can also visit their shrines. And then we have general visitation of the believers that we normally don't call it pilgrimage, but it's a visitation. Regarding the house of God, this is something that needs more maybe reflections and study, but briefly the idea is that God has no place. God is everywhere, but this is the place that God wanted for humanity to be able to be there, to connect to Him and each other. The Quran in chapter 3 verse 96 says, "Inna awwala baytan wuda'a lin-nas lalladhi bi-Bakkah." The very first house which was built for mankind is this house. So this was not built by our prophet, as you know, this was much before, and Abraham restored this house, but even as he was not the one who founded in the first place. So this is the first house for mankind. It's not for any particular person or tribe or group or religion. This is for humanity because it's the house of God. So everyone can feel at home because it belongs to, like when you go to your parents' home, you feel at home. If you go to your siblings' home, you feel good, but it's different. Yeah, your father's, mother's home is different. So God wanted us to have a place where we can connect to Him and to each other without feeling that we are, disturbing anyone or, we have to get permission from anyone. We just can go there freely. So this is the concept of having a house for God. Plus, in order to have harmony, so when we say our prayer from all over the world, we face that house. We call it Qibla. So that's where we try to turn. So this is also bringing unity, that all Muslims from all over the world, when they say their prayer, or even when we are sitting, or studying, we always try to face, if possible, to face that direction, because we feel this is helping us spiritually. But there is something more also, that in addition to all this, that it seems that light of God, which is reflected everywhere, but it comes down to certain places, and from there it's distributed. So God has a network of his light being reflected, and every person is able to plug in to this network. And if you are clever, you try to plug in many ways. Because so for example, I can be here with evolution and facing, for example, Mecca, and then being in the presence of good people and having good discussion. So all these are different ways to plug in. And for example, if we hold our meeting or discussions also, for example, in a place which is dedicated, like in a church or mosque to God, again, it's additional way. If we go for pilgrimage to a place, this pilgrimage is adding, although it is good to go to the local places of worship, but it's also good sometimes to travel to holy places which are in a special way connected to God. So there is a network that God has provided us with, that from everywhere in the world we can plug in, and we can have multiple parallel ways to plug in. My understanding is that the shrines that belong to the prophets and messengers, they are especially designated as places of spreading light. And we can discuss this based on the Quranic verses, that God says that example of his light is like a niche which is inside the wall. So in that niche there is a lantern, a light, and there are glasses normally they put so that people from both sides can benefit from the light. And God says that these glasses by themselves give light, and the oil which is used in this lamp is olive oil, which is very transparent. And then he says this can be found in houses where there are people who constantly remember God. And our prophet was asked, where are these houses? And he said, Buyutul Anbiya, these are houses of the prophets, because prophets constantly remembered God. So their houses has become the places where you can find this niche. Okay? And for sure, house of God is the center of these houses of the prophets. So we go with the intention, with clear understanding, that we go to these places in order to connect to God, and we are benefiting from a spiritual intercession of these holy people who dedicated themselves to God. So what they achieved is somehow made available with the grace of God to us to benefit. So they have been always mindful of God, so God makes their house a place that other people can also benefit. Like their life is like a garden. They made lots of flowers in that garden, but it's not only for them to enjoy. We can also go and enjoy and benefit from these gardens, but the condition is that you have to acknowledge their merits. So if I go to a shrine and I don't believe in this person, and say, I have come, just as a curiosity, I may benefit, but I may not benefit. It depends. Sometimes still you can receive something, and some people may change. People may go to deny, but they can. But if you want to have better chance, you have to open yourself. And the way to open is to be humble. If you say, I'm better than this person, you cannot benefit. Or say, this ordinary person, like me, and I'm more educated, I have, this degree and this, asset. And we have to go humbly, and we have to acknowledge their merits, and we have to seek face of God there. We don't go there just to look at the building, or, we want to seek face of God. If with such preparation we go there, God allows us to benefit from the garden that they have made, from the light that they have accumulated. And this is the beauty of having such network. And if we manage then to keep this with us for a long time, and if we die like this, then our house also can benefit other people. Yeah, so it's not something that is stuck with some people. So there is no quota on being holy. If all people become holy, there is no shortage. God is generous, and even some people maybe during their life. Although traditionally we don't recognize, call this a shrine, but some people, their presence, you feel presence of God, and their place can be. For example, in our hadith, we have that looking at the face of a godly scholar is worship, and then we have also looking at the door of the house of a godly scholar is worship. So worship is not just looking at the house of God. So therefore, it's possible that some people who have holy life, even when they are alive, if we visit them, it's like pilgrimage. It's worth traveling long distances to visit them. But normally this is acknowledged more when people die, and for different reasons. Maybe because they are humble, they don't want to be seen like that, or maybe people are worried about future of these people, and maybe, for different reasons. Sometimes it takes time, but otherwise I think it's very possible that even when someone is alive, can be a person to visit, go and visit and plug into this. So pilgrimage has all these benefits, even if you do it individually. But now, if we do it together, if 10 people, 20 people, 100 people travel from here and go to Mecca, this has added value, because now it's a team. And on the way there, while they are there, when they return, they strengthen their own bonds. And God very much wants us to go to Him in groups, not just individuals, because this can help us with lots of relations. You as individual can do certain things for God, but when you are with others, you have thousands of times more opportunities to love and to remember God. So when we go together, this is very important, that we gain lots of blessings because of being together, strength our unity. And then when we go there, then we see people have come from other cities, other countries. It makes a universal network. Now, for example, in the Shia world, in addition to going to Mecca and Medina, so for example, we go to shrines of our Imams. If you go in certain occasions, you see millions of people, especially in the Arba'in, which was just about 30 days ago. So millions of people go there, and there is a special atmosphere, especially in this one. Maybe no other occasion is like this. Even going to the same place in other times, not like this. Because here, whoever goes, they say that, because they try to go by walking, that how much they have received love on the way. So people who are poor, they are with maximum generosity trying to serve the pilgrims. You don't need to take anything with you. Even if you have no money and you can just walk, they give you food, they give you place to rest. Not only they give you, they beg you. Because they have lots of stations. They beg you, please come and eat here. Please come and stay with us. If you want to take shower, their houses are all open for you. And they give you massage because you walk, So, and if you go another time, you don't find the same spirit. Maybe some are there, but majority are normal. Maybe they charge you. Yeah, they can charge you. But at this time, there's different spirit. And I was thinking that it's very much what we expect that is going to happen in the end of time. That all people have fraternity and love when, Imam Mahdi and Jesus, come. And I think God is telling us, look, this is possible. It's not impossible. For a few days, I'm showing you the power of love and fraternity. If you want, then you have to work for it. It's a sample, but you have to work for it. So, when we go together and then we meet other believers, it has lots of advantages. If we really benefit from it, we can solve many international problems. We can plan for many things together. Because if people are united, they can solve almost all problems. We cannot solve death. We are still going to die. But we can solve wars, illiteracy, poverty, lack of health, all these problems. If we are united, we can solve these problems. So, pilgrimage is a very important way of formation for individuals and for community, and it has no limit. It's not going to be necessarily once a year. It can be as many times as you like and you are able. But what is important is that we go for pilgrimage with the intention of opening ourselves with humility and being happy to share, to sacrifice our comfort and convenience for the sake of others, and try to change. Because I think the very concept of pilgrimage implies that you want to become better. If you think you are perfect, you don't leave your home, and work and business and family and go for pilgrimage. Is a declaration to God that I am a learner, I am a student, I am a traveler, I have not reached the destination. So every time we go to pilgrimage, we have to improve. If we are not improving, means we didn't get the point. So these are just some reflections I thought I share with you. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What is the name of that place? It's in Iraq, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Karbala.
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 This is the big pilgrimage in Iraq.
Yes. Yes.
We see photographs each year.
Yes.
Can anybody go, or do you have to be a certain religion? Or?
No. Actually, Sunni Muslims go, Christians go, many people go. And they have the same love for everyone, because they say you are a pilgrim and we are at your service. And many of these people, they are not rich, but they offer, the best. That sometimes they borrow money and spend in these days.
I recently heard that some people that they don't have a religion, they went.